Welcome to our meeting today. We're going to talk about PaymentWorks and sending out the Initiator emails and starting it. Why we're going to PaymentWorks? What value is it? It helps to eliminate payment fraud. Um, PaymentWorks will indemnify all of our EFT payments that we set up through PaymentWorks, which will protect the county in case there's any, bank account issues, fraudulent transactions. PaymentWorks is there to protect us. We also ensure compliance. We can trust our payee identity information. The PaymentWorks has a process where they can verify the bank accounts, and it also has to make the setting up suppliers. It eliminates the pain point in the procure to pay process, which is creating these suppliers. So if we go on, and we'll step through how the process will flow once we switch to PaymentWorks. So the vendor onboarding. So the first step, we start here in Salt Lake County, and we will initiate a payee invite. Anybody who currently submits a form to the supplier's email inbox will have the security to be to send out these payee invites. So we enter the information in PaymentWorks, and then PaymentWorks will send the invitation to the payee, the supplier, and the supplier will go in and they can create um, their account. They'll complete the registration. They enter in their address, their bank account information, their TIN, all the good stuff. And then this information comes back to PaymentWorks, who will verify the TIN and the name combination, see if they're on any sanction lists, verify the banking account information. Then it comes back to Salt Lake County, who will approve the workflow, who will approve these invitations. Once that has been approved, then we will create the supplier code in PeopleSoft, or we will update the supplier code if they're changing their address, if they're changing their bank account information. And then PaymentWorks, once it's updated, the notification will come from PaymentWorks. Will notify PaymentWorks will be notified. Who will notification will come from PaymentWorks. PaymentWorks will send notification to the pay notification that their supplier code has been created, their supplier is created, and whoever initiated that did the initiation within PaymentWorks will also be notified of the supplier number. The payee can go in and they can view the invoices, they can review the remittances. If the payee needs to update their information, they can do that as well. And then as they do that, then it comes back to Salt Lake County, who will approve the updates and get the updates into PeopleSoft. So it's really a simple process, and it flows between basically the four systems: PeopleSoft, Salt Lake County, PaymentWorks, and the payee, the supplier. Let's see. I think we're moving next to a video, right, Mari?
That's correct. Thank you, Ryan. Okay, I'm going to play the onboarding process video. So there's no sound.
There's not.
We tested it. Okay. See if it works on YouTube. That's why I had the link.
This video, we will provide a brief explanation on how to send invitations.
Does it work now?
Yes.
Does it work now? Okay, perfect. Sorry, guys.
This video, provide a brief explanation on how to send invitations to prospective suppliers, as well as track the onboarding process. To begin, click Send Invitation at the bottom left of your screen. Here, you will be able to send an invitation to a supplier to register with your organization. Fill the required fields and click Send. Your organization may require other fields than those shown. You will see the invitation appear in the Onboardings view. To resend an invitation or cancel registration reminders, click here. The invitation will expand as shown here, and when you click Resend, you can edit the company name and your email address to which the invitation
left the meeting.
is sent. The supplier will receive an invitation that looks like the screen shown here. Your organization may have a customized version of this message. It is important to note that your supplier must click on the special link in the invitation, highlighted here, in order to successfully connect with your company. The supplier will be prompted to join PaymentWorks and create an account with basic information. After creating an account, the supplier will have to confirm their email address before starting the new vendor registration form. Once the account has been confirmed, your supplier will be able to complete the new vendor registration form. They will receive confirmation when their form has been submitted. Your finance department will review the form and input the supplier in their system. Now we will explain the statuses you will see in the Onboardings view. In the invitation column, Sent will appear as soon as you send the invitation. Once the supplier receives the invitation in their inbox, the status will change to Delivered. The status Open means the supplier opened the email. And when it says Clicked,
Has joined the meeting.
the special link in the invitation. In the Account field, the status will change from No Account to Created once the supplier has created a secure PaymentWorks account. When the supplier verifies their email, the status will change to Confirmed. When the supplier completes the registration form, the value in the new vendor registration column will appear as submitted. The status Processed will appear as the finance department is reviewing the form, and will show as complete when the supplier is approved and assigned a vendor number. I hope this video has been helpful. If you have any further questions, contact your PaymentWorks administrator.
Chief Human Resources Officer.
Okay.
In this video, we will provide
So we just went through inviting a payee. So the first step is when you log in through the SSO link. The SSO is a single sign-on link, and it will use your Salt Lake County login. So whatever you use to log into your computer and password, that's what you are going to be using. And again, just come through a process of inviting the payee. So you would enter the name and all the information that is required. All the information that's required, it's noted as an asterisk. This is a sample payee invitation, the sample email that we are using with Salt Lake County through PaymentWorks. So Bob Marley would click on this link to register on PaymentWorks so we can start the process. And for my demo, I'm using this fictional company called Pied Piper. The current process that we are using is, you fill out the supplier form, you enter all the required information, TIN, SSN, and you mail it to suppliers, SLCO.org with all the information, and I would enter it on my fin, and then it gets approved by either Lydia or Ryan, and then you get the approved supplier number. So this is what the SSO, single sign-on link login will look like. So to start my demo, I'm gonna start it by inviting Pied Piper to the system. So we start by going on vendor master updates. And at the bottom down here, you just find send invitation. So Pied Piper is my company. So my emails that I'm using so you have to enter the contact email and then verify the email again. And then the description of goods and services, computer. So your name is going to be the initiator name. And then you enter your email address. And you enter your department, your phone number. And then, so these asterisks are the ones that say it's required. So this is to make a product, for example, and then you can answer a personalized message. It's not required. So you send the invite, and then it just notifies you that your invitation is pending approval before being sent to Pied Piper. So Pied Piper will get an email to be invited to the system. But in order to do that, we are the ones that are going to approve the invite for them to be able to join. So I'm doing this on the other screen. Oh, 1 minute. Okay, so my screen right here, here is where I go Salt Lake County. We approve and send the invitation. So now they're going to have permission to sign up as a vendor for us with us, Salt Lake County. After I do that, I could do a note if I wanted, and that's done. So here it says the invitation is sent. And so I will check my email at Pied Piper. And then sorry, I had to log in and log out different roles, so it's taking me a while. Okay, so my vendor approval rule right here, it tells me that they opened the invitation. So I can cancel the invitation. They will get reminders. Ryan, how often do they get reminders again?
It's like within 24 hours, then 72 hours, then 7 days if they had not clicked on the email.
Right. And then Brian, can you read the chat? I see some questions popping up. He's
Oh
trying to
yeah.
log into the email address.
Let's see. Can someone? Oh, see. I'm going through the sound ones right now. They're working. That we got them to work. Will we be sending a recording of this meeting for others to review?
Yes.
Yes. Can you turn off? Let's see. Let's see. The vendor will be expecting the email, so they shouldn't suspect it as being a phishing attempt. We'll need to make sure the vendor knows that the suppliers, the PaymentWorks will be coming. Because some vendors might be suspicious of that, of it being a phishing attempt. See, Mr. Steffi asked, will all county employees have access to the SSO to send vendor invitations? So all counties all employees who currently send emails to suppliers will have access to send these vendor invitations. So if you can currently send it to suppliers, you can send it through PaymentWorks. And then if the vendor is originally set up as a service provider who later becomes a product supplier, does PaymentWorks have to be updated? And not necessarily. And it will be the supplier that will be updating it. So if the supplier changes their tax status, they'll need to update it. If they change their bank account, if they change their address, the vendor will be able to update these. And then let's see, does the invitation expire if they don't open it within a certain amount of days? I don't believe it does. They could go in and update it later. They will get the notifications of the 24-day, excuse me, the 24 hours, the 72 hours, and at the 7 days. And then do we need to do this for vendors we already have, or is it just for new vendors moving forward? So it will be for new vendors moving forward, and it will be for any vendors who need to change their addresses, who need to change their bank account information, who need to make a change. Those vendors will need to receive an invite to PaymentWorks to be able to make those changes themselves. And then eventually we will move to all vendors getting them updated so that they can update through PaymentWorks. And then who initiates the invitation? It is out in the departments. When the department wants to work with a vendor, or if they need to have a vendor updated, the department can send the invitation to the suppliers to have them update. Okay, and then with our current vendors, they will, when we implement PaymentWorks, they will be loaded in into PaymentWorks. Any of our existing suppliers, whether they're an active supplier or an inactive supplier, will be in PaymentWorks, and you can search PaymentWorks for it to find that supplier, and then you can also send that vendor an invitation. And then the final question so far, will you send an FAQ summary with the recording? There will be, over the time, there will be multiple things coming out about this. We'll send the recording, we'll send the slides that Mari's done, and we'll send out questions as they're being answered, asked and answered too.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay, as everybody can see, this is what the invite for the new vendor registration email looks like. So it says that I have invited you, Pied Piper, to register as a new vendor to Salt Lake County. Excuse me. And so you would just click on this link to register on PaymentWorks. So Pied Piper will have to have a valid TIN, EIN, its employee identification number, or SSN if they are an a sole corporation. If you wish to receive an electronic payment, so EFTs, you'll have to have their bank information. So we're gonna register as Pied Piper. So it's not working because I'm logged in currently. So you can't have two windows. Okay, there we go. So now Pied Piper will have the ability to join. And so Pied Piper is gonna enter their information. The email address is gonna be entered twice. And then they will create a password. And then agree to the terms of service. So it tells me that an activation email has been sent. So here, it tells me thanks for registering, and you have to verify your email address within 72 hours in order to activate the account on PaymentWorks. And then we can sign on to complete the registration. So click on this, and that verifies the email address. So now I can log in and sign on as Pied Piper. So this is what the vendor will, registration will look like. The first thing that it asks you is the tax information. For tax purposes, what would Pied Piper would be? I'm going to do corporation. And then their legal business name. and I'm just making up a EIN. It has to be 9 digits. So these little check marks, the green check marks, it means it's valid, or otherwise you can't move on. Your tax classification, a corporation, S corporation, partnership, trust, estate, an LLC taxes as a C corporation, S corporation, a partnership, and other. So for this, I'm just going to be a corporation. And then they have the ability to upload their own W-9, but PaymentWorks has the ability to generate an electronic W-9 with the EIN information that has been entered. So it just asks us all these questions. And then you have to enter the email address again. And a website description of what the company is. The primary address. I'm just gonna do. So the cool thing about this, PaymentWorks verifies the addresses as valid. I'm just putting our office information, mayor's finance, or suite number, and it auto-populates the zip code when you enter the address. So remit address, payment primary, supplier category, a U.S. company or a U.S. individual, a foreign or foreign entity. So we'll do U.S. entity. And then I ask you the 1099 information. So for this purpose, I'm just going to do none. And I ask you if you're a certified diverse business, and then you have to upload the information in order to classify your supplier as a diverse business. And that asks you for conflict of interest. For example, see if you are aware of anyone in your company who currently is a county employee, for example. And then at the bottom, it asks you for payment information. So US bank or foreign bank. So I'm going to do US bank, and you can do ACH, a bank account, credit card, check. So for this training, I'm just going to do a check. Oh, yeah, it will tell you that you didn't enter your required information. So then again, it goes through the verification of the addresses, and it the address that you entered, and then the suggested address. So I'm just going to click yes. And then that's it. And then I can be Pied Piper in my little dashboard. And then this is Pied Piper's dashboard and the company profile. It will show the address, the email, if there was an URL here, business details. And right here, it tells me the EIN is valid. It checks with the IRS. So that's a cool thing about PaymentWorks. And we have the generated electronic W-9. So this is the one that PaymentWorks automated. I'll show you what it looks like. If it would open. Sorry about that. And then the address is validated, and I didn't choose a bank account. So this is what PaymentWorks looks like. Thanks everyone, and then Ryan will, I see Ryan's answering some questions.
Yeah, there were a few questions on petty cash. Petty cash will not go through PaymentWorks. Neither will impressed accounts. There's a few other payment types that will not go through. Any reimbursements that the county makes, anything related to travel or reimbursing somebody out in the citizen outside will not go through PaymentWorks. And PaymentWorks is going to be used for both new suppliers and to update existing suppliers. All existing suppliers will be uploaded into PaymentWorks, and then an invitation when that supplier needs to update their information will need to be sent to the supplier, and it will be a combination of the department sending it out, and then Mayor Finance will also send out a few invitations as we come across them. But the departments are closer. They know, they probably have the update information on what needs to be updated before we do. Let's see, did I miss any? If a foreign bank is selected, the only option available is a check. That's the only option they will have. We don't do EFTs and we don't do wires. It would be the treasurer's office. So it'd be the current process where if we have to pay a foreign vendor electronically, we have to issue a check payable to the county treasurer, and then the treasurer will wire the money. And then also, this is for county departments as well. So any payment accounts payable makes to a county department, they will need to update their information through PaymentWorks as well. And this will replace our current supplier vendor management form in 99% of the suppliers that are set up. The exceptions are petty cash, impressed accounts, a few others. And we are running late, so we're over time, but we thank you. I'm just checking double address or checking address questions again.
So Ryan,
So there is,
Ryan, this is Robert real quick. Hey, question on the chat. On your flow chart on when it's in PeopleSoft, is that Mayor's Finance still going to update PeopleSoft with that information, or is the divisions or departments have to go in once we know that they sign everything into PaymentWorks? Do we have to go in and set those suppliers up in PeopleSoft, or is Mayor Finance going to continue doing that?
Mayor's Finance will continue doing that. In the short term, in the long term, once the supplier approves there, it'll automatically go into PeopleSoft. Either the new supplier code or the update to the supplier will go into PeopleSoft directly.
Has joined the meeting.
We will not have to touch it. Was there a question? There is one registration per supplier, or sorry, one invitation. Invitations will need to go out to individual suppliers. So if you're setting up multiple, each will need their own invitation. And then Anne asked if we can show example multipliers. For that, we will have a train coming up into March, so I would say stay tuned for that. And you can see where a supplier will have multiple addresses and how they can set those up. Will existing suppliers know about PaymentWorks, or will they be receiving communication elsewhere? About a week ago, we changed our checks and our EFT payments to to let the vendors know, as we are paying them currently, that PaymentWorks is coming for all supplier minutes, for all supplier updates. So they're being notified that way. There will be additional communication going out to them. And then also, it's helpful if the departments, so, also, advertise it to your vendors as well. Let them know that these emails will be coming. The more that we can tell them, the better, because they won't think they're all phishing emails. And for existing suppliers, I'm not sure what A and C clients are, but any supplier, unless they're an exception, will need to go through PaymentWorks if they're updating their information. And then existing suppliers will be transitioned as, for sure, as updates are being made. As they need to update their information, they will be transitioned to PaymentWorks, and then we'll probably work on others throughout the time. And then there's a soft live where 10 to 30 vendors will be invited on March 28th, I think it is. And then April 4th is when it goes live. Oh, arts and culture.
Thanks for your time, everyone. Sorry we went over. Yeah, if you have any questions, shoot us an email, and then this recording will go out. And yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank
Bye.
you.
Thanks, Ryan.